What's up, family? Welcome back to another legendary reaction video. So we got Diddy facing life from prison. Give this video a big thumbs up, man, before we get into it. Let's go.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
Combs is dangerous and poses an ongoing threat to the safety of the community.
When Combs didn't get his way, he was violent.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. We knew this was coming. His spirits are good. He's confident. He's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges.
Damn, Diddy. Back at it again with the free shit. On Monday, September 16th, 2024, the feds made their move, taking Sean Diddy Combs into federal custody inside the lobby of a Manhattan hotel. His arrest would come 10 months after multiple allegations of freak nasty abuse. Cassie would be the first to file a lawsuit accusing Diddy of savage beatings, rape, drugs, the list goes on. Well, the very next day after the lawsuit went viral, Diddy, Diddy's lawyer, and Cassie settled the lawsuit with the terms to be kept confidential. The speed of how fast the lawsuit.
All I'm gonna say, family, is I know it's a lot of celebrities that's gonna go downhill. It's a lot of celebrities and higher ups on them tapes, bro, and they'll break Hollywood and a lot of people if it comes out. What if the tapes definitely will help Sean Diddy Combs, man? I don't know, like, if they gonna hold one person accountable like Sean Diddy, then they need to hold all of them accountable. I feel like everybody need to get out their feelings and be objective and put their thinking caps on and start worrying about, you know, being so emotional in regards to their personal issue they had with Diddy and really think about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then hopefully they don't, you know, John Epstein them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man.
It pretty much answered everyone's question as to did he do it. In the following months, both women and a man would come forward with more deviant allegations. Homeland Security would strike, conducting early morning raids on Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami mansions. Following the raids, a video of Cassie.
One thing I can say, family, is one good thing about that's coming out with the Diddy and the Young Thug thing and court stuff is that it's causing a lot of men to leave the street stuff and these women alone. You know, notice how hip-hop and rap artists have gone quiet and taken life more serious like responsible adults now in society. You feel me?
Assaulted by Diddy would take the internet by storm, as the lawsuit alleged Diddy paid $50,000 at the time to make the video disappear. Howard University would revoke Diddy's honorary degree and terminate the scholarship program in his name, and the mayor of New York City would also request the key to the city be returned. It would appear Diddy knew what was coming, as he traveled back to New York City, checking into a hotel on September 5th in anticipation of the indictment. Just 30 minutes before the feds took him into custody, Diddy could be seen laughing and mingling with fans in Central Park. At one point, he'd even meet with his lawyer on a park bench. It would appear Diddy was taking it all in. Pause. As he knew this may be the last time he sees the city he ran for the last 30 years.
I don't know, man. It's just like with the Diddy situation, all these celebrities, I believe, they just running scared, you know, and they think that their lives are about to be completely upended and changed forever. Because first of all, I don't think that the case, you know, because I don't really think that we getting down to the nitty gritty of what's really happening out in the streets, you know. But I mean, unless you're going to tear down the whole system and unless you're going to expose everybody, unless we're going to talk about what those whole tapes completely, then I think there's nothing more than it's a witch hunt, because this is not the justice system or the federal government or HSI actually trying to protect people. This is them trying to get some quick wins under their belt and thinking logically for a minute and taking the emotions out of it and how you feel about Diddy out of the equation. The reason I say all this, if y'all want to change, y'all really want to change, or you really want to get to the source of what the problems are, then we could have did that. You know, we could have done that with the Epstein scene. We could have exposed all those people and show what was really behind the curtain if we want to. And I don't believe that Diddy is the guy. I think that he's the main corporate. I just think that he's extra freaky and that he's deviant, and his deviancy and his deviant behavior got the best of him, and that's his character. And his character was trash, and he fell for the rope of dope and okie dokie. And also, I believe what plays a role in I've been saying this, and I've been seeing people say this with this whole lawsuit with Cassie came out in the first place, was his whole lawsuit with Diageo, him becoming too successful. And I think that if you're not quiet enough and you continue to be more vocal about the things that you're doing, ultimately it's going to result in you suffering. You're going to have a huge downfall, and people are so easily manipulated and they're so easily controlled, and they're not able to have the conversation. That's why they depend on what they depend on with what the people vote. And that's why they depend on when they parading these people around for y'all in order to get convicted. It's the thing that they depend on in order to keep you distracted from the things that really matter. So unless you're going to reveal all the people that's on those tapes, because I think that's the real play, and it was a play when it came to Epstein, I think it's the play when it comes to everything. If he got the tapes right, he did all these recordings and all these people that's on these tapes, how come we not having a conversation about everybody, and why is the only thing we're willing to talk about is Diddy? Why is the only thing that we want to talk about is Diddy? Why are we not demanding as people? Because you know that you convicted in the court. You know, when you become convicted in the court of popular opinion or public opinion, way before it gets to the Justice Department, if you read the indictment, you read all the interviews, if you've been following the news, like everybody else have, then you even know that the charges they throwing on him, trafficking, is a blanket statement, which then causes everybody to cooperate and then have a conversation about what they think Diddy is doing. And before they even did that, they cited their sources and said their sources was the CNN video, which we all seen, you know. And, you know, you got other sources, you know, they have blogs and, you know, podcasts with Gene Deal, Art of Dialogue, and, you know, you got Blatt, you know, and all these individuals. If y'all really want to get behind and solve for these issues and not just be gossiping and not just talking about what's happening, if you really care about the communities, if you really care about the women, if you really care about all this stuff, why y'all not demanding the veil be uncovered? And that our FBI, Homeland Security, and Justice Department really get down to the thick of things. And how come we not talking about why it's a bunch of men that's coming across the border and not women, whereas women are the ones that initially coming across the border, but then they just somehow disappear? Y'all don't really want to get down to it, man. Y'all don't really want to have the real conversation. And y'all don't really want to know who exposed you, I don't know, man. And then look, why they putting them on watch inside of a prison and all that? Because y'all love the drama behind it, man, the gossiping. Y'all not really trying to think critically about the situation. And it's just based on how you feel, and that's how you get easily manipulated and controlled. And we can't really have productive conversations of this whole situation. But let's continue, family. Comment down below how y'all feel about what I just said.
The unsealed indictment would reveal Diddy has been hit with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The feds would allege that for decades, Diddy abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his crime.
And the only reason why I say people are easily manipulated and controlled, you know, with emotions, and you can't have a productive conversation, because if y'all think that Diddy's the final boss, and he not even the underlying boss, he just a person who was posing. And look, Diddy, let's be honest, Diddy has been an opposer his entire life. Like when he first started selling the whole liquor conversation, you know, with Ciroc. Ciroc was never really his thing. Ciroc was never really black owned or his to begin with. So he started talking about it, and then he got invested in it and all this stuff, and he was posing, but he was lying to us the whole time think we believe he actually owns Ciroc when he knew he never owned it. But in order to get the people to buy it, he had to sell it like he did because y'all thought y'all was supporting a black-owned business, which further complicates the situation because it then forces you to come to the conclusion that you're not supporting the right thing. You're not supporting the character. You're not aligning yourself with the people outside of anything other than identity, which is why people vote and support the way they do. And they don't really care about getting down to the real source of who's controlling and pulling the strings, which is why we don't understand what a system is. And it's so easy to manipulate based on how you feel, right? But let's continue.
To do so,
Cooper Specialists.
Sorry about the ad, family. But that's the truth, bro. That's how I feel about this whole situation. The whole situation is wild, you know, and people don't really want to. Sorry, family. People don't really want to talk, bro. It's wild.
Used, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Diddy relied on his employees, resources, and influence of the business empire he controlled, creating a criminal enterprise that engaged in or attempted to engage in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. In other words, Diddy used his power to get his freak on. Diddy engaged in a persistent...
And Cassie was the only individual he was in an actual relationship with. And let's just be objective. I ain't on either side of it. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Diddy and Cassie was in an actual relationship. The other side, we got her side, and I believe that the way Diddy and all that whole situation with the video was a disaster, and Cassie got what she deserved. But however you put it, family, the other side of the story was she found out he was cheating, talking to other women on his phone, threw the phone at him. So we get in the full context. We only got her side. We only had her side. But all the other individuals like Dawn and all that who want more money, and I feel like she should only get Dawn, the lady who's accusing Diddy. I feel like if it was the case and they were actually worrying about doing what's right, they would be coming at him criminally instead of suing him and trying to get money as they see the boat sinking because they're just worrying about a money grab. So I feel like all the other individuals is liars unless they have evidentiary proof that they were a victim like Cassie. And that's how I look at the whole situation. And it's like, come on, bro. He was a freaky person. Other than that, it's like, bro, they were all adults here, bro. On tape, bro. It was all adults here. Let's be real. You know, but let's continue.
Pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of this abuse, Diddy manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated, freaky activity with male sex workers. At times, Diddy or those working for him would fly out women and sex workers to his location. He'd make sure they were willing to participate by supplying them drugs, controlling their careers, using financial support, and threatening to cut them off financially while using intimidation and lastly violence. Physical abuse by Diddy was recurrent and widely known.
And if they got flew out, they had all this time to think about if they didn't want to do it. They got flown out, bro. You had the whole flight to think about if you don't want to do it. You went there and you were willingly able to go there and step into whatever the situation was.
Since 2009, he'd assault women by striking, punching, dragging, kicking, and throwing things. These assaults were at times witnessed by other people, including in 2016 when he kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at Cassie before trying to bribe the hotel workers to remain silent. Diddy would even use his employees to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and freak nasty behavior. Members of the Diddy enterprise were well involved in his dirty work and worked together to preserve, protect, promote, and enhance the power, reputation, and brand that is Sean Diddy Combs. See, Diddy's disciples wielded enough power and prestige to lure women into Diddy's orbit, often under the false pretense of a romantic relationship. These women were then forced or coerced into engaging in acts with male sex workers in what Diddy referred to as freak-offs. These freak-offs were elaborate and produced performances that Diddy arranged and directed while electronically recording and pleasuring himself. Domestic and international flights would be provided, and these freak-offs would occur regularly, sometimes lasting multiple days and involving multiple people. Diddy distributed a variety of drugs to keep his victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes unbeknownst to the victims, Diddy kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in such acts with sex workers, and when the freak-offs were done, Diddy would provide IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. Diddy's disciples would often book hotel rooms, stocking them in advance with the required freak-off supply list. The list would include drugs, baby oil, lubricant, extra sheets, and lighting. During the raids of Diddy's mansions, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including drugs, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and lube. They'd also seize firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, one of which had a drum magazine. The feds are using 16 years worth of dirt to essentially bury Diddy inside of a federal prison, and in a desperate attempt, Diddy's defense team proposed to put him on home detention with a $50 million bond secured by his Miami mansion. But
I feel like, bro, with Homeland Security and all these different type of innovative things, man, and sure, everything else come out, because I believe you got to let the facts come out, and innocent until proven guilty. If the man has said he's not going to leave or whatever the case may be, they got enough technology to make sure this man don't leave the country, bro.
Feds would give 15 pages of reasons why the judge shouldn't allow it. The letter would highlight much of what the indictment states, including one freak-off in 2012, which Diddy had to pay $46,000 to cover the damages done to a New York penthouse. In 2011, Diddy and a conspirator kidnapped an individual at gunpoint to facilitate breaking into and entering the residence of someone else. 2 weeks later, Diddy's disciples set fire to that person's car by slicing open the convertible top and dropping a Molotov cocktail inside the interior. Since 2008, allegations of Diddy's violence against women has been reported in the public media, but more recently, there has been an outpouring of allegations dating back to the 90s. The weapons recovered inside of Diddy's home are also a federal concern. While 6 legal weapons were found stored in safes, 3 AR-15s were found with defaced serial numbers, making them very illegal. A drum magazine loaded with 59 rounds of .223 ammo was found in his Los Angeles mansion, where high-capacity
got a lot of gun, boy.
magazines are very illegal. To make a long story short, the feds said Diddy's dangerous, has a shitload of money, and is definitely a flight risk, so the judge denied his bail. As of now,
bro, obviously if he been wanted to go to Bali or somewhere with Russell Simmons and escape, he would have been did that, bro.
Diddy resides in a not-so-luxury concrete cell within MDC Brooklyn, a federal facility that holds over 1,700 inmates of all calibers and has been home to many big names, from rappers like 6ix9ine to mob boss John Gotti. It can be expected that a ton of new information will keep coming out regarding this case, possibly more charges, and even more arrests. It's also likely that Diddy may have some information he's willing to share in order to secure his freedom.
Yeah, he's gonna tell it. He gonna tell it, bro.
The industry has turned their backs on him.
A lot of politicians, bro. I know a lot of things with Barack Obama keep circulating.
He's sweating, knowing what they did in Diddy's darkness is about to come to light.
Yep.
And as for Diddy, he's facing a minimum 15 years and up to life in federal prison. Now, I think it's safe to say we all expected this would happen. We just didn't know when. The fact that he only has 3 counts is somewhat surprising. I thought it would have been more because all the allegations against him are so crazy and in depth. But racketeering is pretty much bundling up everything into one charge. At the end of the day, he has 3 charges. He's facing 15 years minimum up to life.
Yeah.
And the way the feds work is you're either gonna tell on somebody or you're gonna get fucked. Now,
yep, and then the reality is the people that they have these witnesses and willing to cooperate, you're either gonna tell us what you need to know or you can face jail time possibly as well. Yeah, that's how it's gonna happen.
In case he has anything sexual, when you get locked up, it's frowned upon to the point that you can be a target. But that's more so for people that aren't so rich and aren't so famous. I'm not sure how it would play out for him because he has money to sway the crowd. But this is the thing. They may also come for the money. They may come for his properties.
They free, yeah, they already freeze his assets and all that.
Come for everything. And if they're able to take away his means of defense and making things happen, they're taking away his power, which is gonna reduce him from a music mogul to a famous person with not so much money. But what I think is gonna happen and what I know is gonna come to light is a lot more names, a lot more people, possibly more arrests, a lot of people falling back. And you know, Diddy has a lot of information on people. This shit's kind of similar to the Epstein shit when he was bringing people to the island, except Diddy was doing this shit over here. You're flying people through, you're recording them, you're giving them drugs, whatever. Now Diddy, his life is on the line, and we're gonna see how desperate he gets. We're gonna see how desperate other people get. We don't know how deep this is gonna go, and this is only the beginning. Guarantee it won't be the last video I make on it, as the updates are just gonna come rolling in. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section.
Well, y'all let me know what y'all think, family, in the comments. With no further ado, family, peace.